Water is a limited natural resource. We're all aware how big oil industries have contributed to its pollution. But did you know that the fashion industry is one of the main leaders of contamination? Hello, my name is Yasta Mendoza. I had the opportunity of living in Mexico, where I was exposed to water being a natural limited resource. We all need water to survive. We all need to be wearing clothing, and unfortunately, in order to make clothing and customize it, we need to use a lot of water. Today I'm going to inform you and give you a rough idea of how much water is consumed and how pesticides and dyes contribute to its contamination. Knowing that water is a natural limited resource, and the United Nations website reporting that about 782 million people do not have access to clean water, the fashion industry yet chooses to use about 900 gallons of water to make a pair of jeans and 700-gallon waters to make a cotton t-shirt. Water is being consumed through the process of making clothing, from the irrigation to make the cotton, to the assembly to make the t-shirt, and the dyeing to make the right color of the t-shirt. The amount of water being used in the making of clothing is large, and the amount of water available, safe for drinking, is getting smaller. To expand on the pesticides and dyes used in the making of clothing, pesticides used in the harvest of cotton contaminate clean water around it. Wasim Akhtar article, Impact of Pesticides Used in Agriculture, Their Benefits and Hazards, explains how pesticides contaminate surface water through runoff from treated plants and soil. So in order to protect the cotton plant, pesticides are sprayed, which then the pesticides run off into natural bodies of water like rivers and streams, contaminating it, which many people depend on it to get fresh water. So when cotton plants are treated with pesticides, they are often found contaminating rivers nearby. Other chemicals used in the process of making clothing are fabric dyes. Fabric dyes are also contaminating the water supply. Chemicals such as dioxin, chrome, copper, and zinc can be found in fabric dyes. Dyes give the color to our clothing, but is also endangering the quality of our water. Dyes are oftentimes spilled into nearby rivers and streams, contaminating the water for nearby users. In an article by the New York Times on July 14, 2013, it explains how school children in Savar, Bangladesh, can tell the color of the fashion season by the color the river turns. The change in the river's color is due to nearby factories spilling their water waste back into the clean water. So when fabric dyes are spilled and used, they're spilled, then they flow down to the rivers, contaminating for the rest of the people. The combination of the amount of water used, chemicals, and dyes are contributors to the pollution of the fashion industry. To review, today I've informed you about the amount of water consumed in making of clothing and 2 ways it's being contaminated by pesticides and dyes. Those are just some of the ways the fashion industry has become one of the leading industries to contribute to the pollution of water. Now that I informed you about how much water it takes to make an article of clothing and 2 ways that it is contaminated, you will have a better understanding of how the fashion industry has become one of the top leaders to its pollution. Thank you.